Success, success.
Well, where have you seen success?
Pow,
Oh,
pow.
I see.
It looks like I
George
might have
Foreman?
strength, and I actually don't.
No, it doesn't even look like you have strength.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't me either.
Hold one up, wait.
Yeah, people would just come up and kick our asses
Are you
just
gonna
because
guard your face?
we're pretending.
We are Sue and the Wolfman. Good to see you again. Glad to be back with our warning fans. You guys are some of our favorite
You don't
fans.
take the warning? Come on.
And so nice, but you don't leave me many likes. You need to leave me more likes at the end of the video, don't you think?
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
I like to be liked. Doesn't everybody?
40 viewers and 4 likes. Come on. That's all the time.
Well, we're not everybody's cup of tea, but
Well,
we
we better
love
be.
the warning, and we love the warning fans. And so we're doing the digital tour bus,
Yeah,
which I
she's
finally.
trying to explain to me what it was. I was like, there's no way this is a big bus.
It's a gear bus. It's a bus with gear, that's the name. No, it's a digital tour bus. And this is our last one because first we did a reaction to Allie, a reaction to Danny, and now it's time for...
Pow, that's your favorite, isn't it?
You know what, my favorites change all the time.
Yeah, I guess it is.
You know, at one point it's Pow, and another point it's Allie for a long time. Then I get into Danny, and
I don't even know their name, but I know Pow plays the drums because you can say Pow like you're hitting something.
right. And when you have memory issues,
Yeah.
you need the little
When
things
you're
like
slack
that.
like I am.
Huh?
When you're slack like that.
You're not slack. You just
What
forget
you trying
stuff.
to say?
Crazy.
How would you say?
Said you're crazy. There it is. Digital tour bus, bringing you on tour
Nice.
in a bus with gear.
You have a song for that?
Gear bus.
Hi, I'm Paulina. I am the drummer from The Warning, and right now we're in the North American leg of our Error World Tour. It's the second leg we're doing here in the US, and we're very excited. We just released a new song that is called More, and this is like one of the first times that we've been playing it throughout this tour, so it's been really cool. I've actually had to modify my kit to play that new song, so I'm gonna walk you through it. This is a DW performance series, and she's called Bonbon, which is marshmallow in Spanish. I got it during the pandemic, and I was gonna like use it for the first time, and then pandemic happened. So it still feels very new to me. This is a 10-inch tom. This is a 12, and that usually I go for a 14 here, but right now for live, I'm using a 16, and this is an 18, so I just can get like that deep sound. I use the toms a lot, like for main like rhythm parts. So I really wanted to get like that depth in there. My bass drum actually is a little bit shorter in depth. This is 2214 bass drum. My snare is a hand-hammered Black Beauty. As you can see, she's a beauty. I really like the snare. I've been using it for kind of a short time. It was actually a gift, so I'm very happy with it. It has a very deep sound. It sounds gritty. It depends on obviously how you tune it, but my drumstick Carlos always like gets just such a beautiful hard-hitting sound out of it. I use clear pinstripe Remo heads, again 10, 12, 16, 18 on the snare. I use the controlled sound coated one from Remo. So the tuning, especially in the toms, usually varies. These are usually tighter so I can get a good bounce from it. It sounds higher. But these ones are usually kind of tricky sometimes because I like them very loose. I like them deep sounding. But sometimes we get a lot of resonance. But Carlos, my drum tech, has this very cool trick. I don't know if you can see inside the drum, there are cotton pads. We use those to remove our makeup after the shows. And Carlos, one day, he just put them there. And it really dampens the sound, but it doesn't like mute it completely. So that's great. So I can get them a little bit loose without it being a complete mess for our sound engineer. So I am a Sabian artist, and I use HHX all over my drum kit. This is an 18 HHX. This is a 16. This is also 18, the Ozone Evolution, and a 20 China. This is a 14. I use this on very few songs, but it does make a huge difference because I keep this a little bit more close than I do this one. So every time I just want to like ride over here when I'm doing like double bass pedal things, I use this one. This is a little splash. I love it. I don't use it as much as I would like to, but hopefully in newer songs I can incorporate it more. My ride, it's a Raw Bell Dry Ride 21, and it's a beauty. This is my absolute favorite cymbal ever. I've been using it for years, I think for like 6 years now, and it has such a cool sound. I crash a lot all the time, but I used to have just a normal, like another HHX over here, but this, it just sounds so much darker, so it really cuts through like the brightness of these HHX ones. I just incorporated this cowbell, this LP cowbell, to my drum kit because our new single More has a part with cowbell, and it's really fun using it. I haven't used a cowbell in like years, and it has like its little tricks because sometimes it just like really falls, but it sounds so cool, and it's just really fun to just like drive in that. I love it. I am a big Firth artist. I use 5B barrel tip. I just changed drumsticks actually. I used to use 5A, but I'm a very hard hitter and I wanted to stop. Like it just felt really light in my hands. So I got this heavier set and I've been using it this whole year and it has made such a good difference. I don't have to use as like much strength to get like a very hard, deep sound out of them. This DW rack that I have, it's actually been like very modified by my dad. My dad like loves hardware, and it used to be like a little bit too large for me. So he like grabbed like a saw and just started cutting everything to my size. And everything is just like so meticulously measured and marked. So like every time that we're touring, like my drum tech and everyone in production can set everything up really quickly. So it's very efficient. Every time we open for a band or something, we can get everything done in a very short amount of time. So we're not bothering anybody, and it's great. And it's also very comforting to arrive to each show knowing that the measurement of everything is gonna be exactly the same each show. So you don't get like wonky drum sets sometimes. It's all measured precisely. The pedal that I'm using is a Machine DW pedal. I used to use a direct drive from DW, but after they released the chain one, I prefer this one so much more. And it takes a while getting used to it, but once you get the hang of it, it's so easy to control. And again, I'm a very hard hitter, so it just comes back to me in such a easy way for me to like not hurt myself while I'm playing, and I just really love it. I've been using it for a while. In my hi-hat, I'm using 9000 DW. I'm a DW girl. And for my MIDI pedals, I'm using some Roland MIDI pedals. They're very heavy, which is great. So basically, I launch all of our like stems and click through Ableton. And I used to have to do it with like manually, but it kind of looked really like clunky. Like after every single song, I would have to go and like enter. So with these MIDI pedals, I can launch the whole show without anybody noticing. And I used to have like, I've been through so many MIDI pedals and MIDI pads, but these are so great because they're really heavy. So like, they're not going to be set off by like the slightest movement. They're like, it takes a good hit for it to change the scene. So they're fantastic. I have a start pedal and a stop pedal just in case something goes wrong. We're all human, so sometimes we need to stop the click track. It's just so efficient for everybody to have these systems, and it's fantastic. The drum throne that I use is the DW Airlift 9000. It's great. I use it in the lowest setting because I'm really short, so but it's really comfortable. I love it. For in-ears, I use in-ears audio. They are fantastic. Usually we grow them out really quickly, but these have just like really lasted. And usually the problems that we have with in-ears is like the cables at one point, like they just don't plug in correctly and you don't hear stuff. But these ones have lasted wonderfully. What I hear the most in my mix is the bass, because me and my sister are just like really connected when we're playing. So having that, like those bass ends, just like really makes a big difference. For my kick block, I have a kick block because I hit it very hard and usually it just goes so far. Sometimes like when we didn't have a kick block, sometimes Carlos, my drum tech, would just have to be like there in front of the drum, just like for it to not move. So that is a lifesaver, and I love it. So that was my gear run through. Once again, we are The Warning. Our webpage is called thewarningband.com. We are The Warning Band on all social media, so go check us out. Thank you for watching.
They're, let me say this real quick so I don't forget. They are also personable, and they're also, now, they play those instruments, right? So they know what they're called and what they do
What
and all
they're
that.
talking about.
But for their ages, they're very knowledgeable.
Yes,
I
because
love it.
they've been doing it since they were
Right,
young.
and she even said, in some parts, she's like, well, I had to change that out because it wasn't heavy enough, and I went to this pedal, or I went to that cymbal, or whatever.
Right.
I'm impressed.
Okay, I loved her favorite cymbal.
The one with holes in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, China Splash, I believe.
She's been using
You
it.
guys sell it, I think it's
No,
called
she has a China Splash, but that was different.
Well, it's a crash cymbal.
Okay.
Yeah, but it may not be a splash, a bigger splash. It's possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not a drummer. I play one on television.
Hey, what is that little thing that keeps the sound from the bass drum coming out? That kicks the drum, whatever she had.
Oh, drum kick? Yeah, it was in the front?
Yeah.
It was not there to do anything with the sound. It was to keep her from kicking the drum, the kick drum across the stage.
Oh, I thought.
So you didn't hear her say that?
I thought she was talking about the sound going.
No, she was talking about she hit so hard that the drum would just fly off.
How cool that her dad could build her
Yeah.
a custom one for her size, because
Yes.
she is, like
I know.
5 foot, and she needs.
5 foot, really?
Yeah, so she's going to need something way different. If she were to just get up on anyone's drum throne, it would not work with.
Right.
But it wouldn't for a lot of drummers, apparently.
Yeah.
And I think
exactly.
that their drum tech, probably guitar techs, bass
Yeah,
techs,
absolutely. Got
are
somebody-
amazing.
Yeah, they probably have somebody who has a lot of knowledge on the gear, and have to. But what I liked about what they all three said was they're invested in this band. They're invested in their gear, and they probably, like you said, have a gear tech who is more knowledgeable than them, but they're willing to learn, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that so much. I miss playing so
And
much.
somebody put the cotton in the drum for her.
Yes, and so they wiped the makeup off.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, but whatever works,
Oh,
right?
it works.
Yeah, and I was just so impressed by, well, of course she's knowledgeable about her craft,
Yes.
but just seeing it all up close was pretty cool, because we always see her behind the
Right.
drums, and they'll come around to the side and this and that, but actually to see her right there with the
Yeah.
gear.
We need to do that with other bands as well, because I
Yeah.
love it, and it takes me back to selling musical equipment
Right,
for so
you
many
were
years.
watching her with the pedals pretty closely.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, the pedals.
The pedals on the
Computer?
computer, yeah.
The MIDI pedals,
No,
how
but,
heavy they had
yeah,
to be?
they had to be, because it has to trigger something that goes into the laptop or whatever she's using, so it has to be heavier than a normal.
Right, and you don't want, right, because if it's
Too
more
reliable.
sensitive, it
It-
could switch in the middle of the song.
It could not, it's possible that you wouldn't be able to hear it at times. You
Okay,
gotta be able to hit that.
hit that thing.
Yeah, hit that thing, okay. I was interested to hear her say she used Ableton as the DAW. And DAW, all it means is digital workstation, digital audio workstation, like I use to write my songs with. Because I downloaded a free sample of Ableton, and I'm thinking about making that change at some point in my life. I like what I've been using for a long time, but it's very, very cool.
For drum sounds?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I liked about this one too, was that when I first started in the music business and working, selling music equipment, when I was writing songs, I wanted to make sure the drums were as realistic as I could make them at the time.
Right.
And so I love how she was kind of giving you an insight on, these work this way, and I loosened the heads to make the drum sound this way, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it, and I'm always interested in learning more about
Yeah.
music. And I did have a question.
Sure.
Don't drummers have a lot of drumsticks because sometimes
Yes.
they lose them?
I would think so. I mean,
Haven't you seen them throw them?
Well, I've been in bands pretty much until a couple of years ago.
Right.
And what I would see, a lot of them will have like a leather bag that wraps around one of the drums.
It has
and
extra
it
sticks.
has sticks in it because they break them, they throw them, they splinter, they're not usable to play, they knock the heads off.
And you
of
got to keep going, so you just
Yeah.
grab another one.
the human body against the drum kit, human body's gonna win. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, if you got me at 200 plus pounds pounding on a drum head, that head eventually is gonna give way.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So you got them battle and I'm gonna win every time.
Right. Right.
You hear me?
I hear you.
You heard?
I wouldn't want to be behind her if some of the sticks were flying in the air.
Well, yeah.
I've actually never seen her throw a stick. She may have put one down and get another, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, because that's what I was gonna say. I think it was Donnie, and he wasn't a particularly hard drummer, but his sticks were always splinter. I think it was hitting like
Really
on the
hard.
sides of the cymbals and stuff
Oh.
where they're sharp.
Yeah.
And his was splinter, and he would throw one over his shoulder, grab one out of the bag.
I remember when I was first learning to play softball, I was in like 3rd grade, and I could hit the ball, but I would throw the bat. I just go, and then run for first base, you know.
You weren't concerned that you might kill somebody with your bat.
It just happened naturally for a while. I threw the bat for a little bit,
That's funny.
but
A
I
lot-
got
a lot
used
of
to it. I
kids
got
do.
used to it.
How long did you play?
Let's see, from like age 9 to 15.
Wow.
Oh, I was not good, but I had fun. I'm very inconsistent.
Oh, yeah.
But I did stop throwing the bat after 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have let me play
Yeah.
any longer. They said just carry it with you. Like, after you hit it, just run and carry it with you.
You
But
can
that
drop
works.
it. You can drop
And
it.
drop it, yeah.
Yeah, but not destroy it.
I did throw it, right.
I love that.
So they say run and carry the bat with you.
Well, I wanted to play football because my dad liked football. I thought, well, this is way good in his phrases. And so every first day that I went out for football, I crapped my pants. Because of the exertion, a guy hit me, and I crapped all over my pants and never went back.
Oh my God.
I
Why
was
did
7
you have
years
to
old.
tell that story,
I was 7
though?
years old, and
Why
I
did
needed
you have
something
to tell that story?
because it's important to the narrative.
All right, well, listen, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. If you liked our video, please give us a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Leave us some comments. You always do. And hit the notification bell. And subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.
To Till?
No, I was going to say until we see you again.
Yeah.
But I got ahead of myself.
Yes.
If you haven't subscribed, we'd love to have you come along.
No more
Yeah.
talk about bodily functions, I promise.
And what was the other thing? Oh, until we see you again,
Hey,
be blessed.
don't hurt anybody. You never know if they're going to crap themselves.